Welcome to the Stone Cottage. It's the end of March, and I'm going to share with you today several of the chores that I'm doing in the garden, plus 3 happy surprises. This is the time of year where you look at the 10-day forecast and you say, okay, which days is it not going to rain? It rained all day yesterday, and it's going to rain later today. My ground is soggy. I still have chores that need to be done, but I find myself chasing the sunshine as I try to get things done. So here's what I've been able to do. I did have a couple of sunny days earlier this week, and I've been cleaning up and tidying things. The bulbs are looking wonderful and beautiful. Now, last year when I redid this bed, I redid both of these beds, here and over here. So a lot of fun things are coming up. But when I did that, it had just looked so messy that I put down just some brick edging to keep not the grass from growing into the flower bed, from the flower bed coming out into the grass. You can see it's still coming in, but at least I know where the plants are supposed to be. And I liked that so well that I decided to do it on the other side also. Now, this is a good time when the ground is soft from all the rain. It's a good time to just dig in. I just put down an edging of brick, and I'm about 2/3 the way through. But that's exciting, making things look much tidier. Now, the reason my grass looks so patchy is my husband composted over it. The grass is coming up through the compost, and it will look good after a bit. But other things that I am doing to keep my yard looking tidy is I am continuing to take out ivy. Now you can look down here. I still have little bits of ivy all over the place, but you have to crawl down under the plants and dig everything out. And I've been doing that all week. So tomorrow is trash day. I still have more ivy to go, but I've completely filled up 2 of my organics bags and my organics bin with a lot of ivy. I know that's exciting. And I've been cutting back my butterfly bush so it will look a little tidier, and scraping up some leaves. So this should be neater. Now, one of the things that needs to occur in my yard is I have squirrels. The squirrels bite off the end of the branches and make little nests. And when they're finished with the nest, they kind of abandon it, or if it's poorly made, it'll fall out even when it's green. And those hunks end up falling into my trees. Once the trees leaf out, it's a little more difficult to see them and to get them out. But now's a really good time. I've been doing it all winter long, but to make one last push to get all of that mess out of my trees and shrubs. And another thing that I do is I'll come along with my hands and brush the dead leaves and debris out of the lower shrubs. As you can see, such a mess, but it makes it look tidier and neater. And here's my butterfly bush, and I pretty well hacked that back, but butterfly bush tends to grow, it does grow, on the new growth. And so by cutting it back, I'll have a little more contained, and it will grow and flower for me, and it'll be just fine. But this really takes up more space than it should if I don't keep it well groomed. Now, this is a spot where a lot of ivy has come out, and I want some ground covers to go back in here. So I am at the point of looking at some bare root plants and some potted plants, all perennials that I'm going to put back in here to fill that spot and make it look a little tidier. Something that does really well for me is the garden phlox. And I can get these bags with 10 plants in it. I don't know how they count the 10. I guess you just pull them apart until you have the number you want. But this one has some pink and some purple, the Bright Eyes and the Purple Kiss, that I pick up for, I think, $13.99 at Costco, which is a really good buy. And the individual plants, I'm sure that looks like more than 5 in there for this particular one. This is the purple one. But these transplant very easily in my yard and they grow well. It says sun, but in my experience, they do really well in bright shade, and they give me really good color midsummer all the way through fall. So I've got a lot of those that I'll be putting out, but now is a really good time to get them. If you wait until later, they might mark them down, but invariably they've dried out and they're not doing as well. So I like to buy them as soon as they pull them out, when they're bare root like that, so I can make sure they stay healthy. Here are the Virginia bluebells starting to come out, and the bleeding heart with the vinca around it. And I still have some ivy, and that just has to be hand pulled out. Now, some of these areas I look at and I'm like, there's a really bare spot, but I know what's there. I have a wonderful hardy begonia that comes in and fills that spot so nicely in the summertime. And I know this blank spot has some hostas in it, so I don't just plant any place that's bare. I try to remember where things are, note them down in a journal, take photographs, so I'll remember where things are. But I know where I have got blank spots because I've removed a lot of plants. And so this is a really good time of year to make plans. Whether it's planning which annuals I want to buy, planning my perennials, planning my seeds, that sort of thing. So on rainy days, I'm inside planning what I'm going to be adding. Now, back here outside of my bedroom door in the backyard, this is where I have some brick pathway, and you've seen this quite a bit. So this is what it did look like, and I've been out here and I have been digging with my shovel, like 2 inches of dirt and compost, and underneath it was this little pathway made out of, looks like a 12 or 14 inch cement paver and 3 bricks, and it alternates that little pattern, and it goes pretty far back. And just adding that little bit of definition really cleaned up the way this area looked. It went from looking like a new build with absolutely nothing growing in the yard to something suddenly that has a little finish to it. And I've been cleaning up around my plants, and so a couple of surprises. One was what good condition this pathway happened to be in. Behind these cinder blocks there was a sliding glass door where my kitchen is now, and we changed it to a window so we could put the kitchen here. And this wooden area used to be like a little deck outside that door, and it just never has been removed, and we need to remove that because the pathway actually goes under that too. So first surprise. Yay! The pathway is actually in good condition. There's my shovel and cleaning that out. My second really wonderful surprise is hellebores will seed. I had been studying hellebores and how to reproduce them, and I had never had a hellebore seed like this before. I'd seen other gardeners and that they had that kind of luck. Okay, here, this particular hellebore, I have probably, what, 12 or 15 hellebores in the yard. This is the only one that is going to seed. Now, he's done some things in the past, because I have this particular one that looks like he's maybe a year or two old, and all around they've gotten their second set of leaves. So you can see those, the first set of leaves are just this little plain leaf, and then the second set of leaves comes out as 3 leaves with the little serrated edges. So those are easy to identify. And see, here you go. You can see this is the seedling popping out with just a plain little leaf on it. And then you can see the second set of leaves just barely starting to come out the top. And then these over here, you can see are much farther along. And I'm gonna take some of these and put them in some containers and grow them out and put them around in the shady spots in my yard. So I'm quite excited about all of my baby hellebores. There are hundreds of them down here, and I'm sure even under the leaves there are more. So I like that color. You can see it's putting on more seeds, that particular one. That's what the flower looks like. And my understanding is these pink petals are really sepals, and that yellow portion, that I understand is the flower. And then here are the seed pods that come out. So lots and lots of this pretty hellebore. So I'm quite excited about that. Now, past the air conditioner, pretty ugly here, you can see what this looked like. There used to be a pathway that went all the way towards the front of the house, but it was dug out when we added air conditioning. We did not have central air conditioning, so that had to come in here, and we'll put down some more pathway to take it towards the front, make this look a bit nicer. So you can see how really ugly and boring that is. And then you can see how much prettier it looks with the pathway. Ignore the cinder blocks. Yes, don't look at the cinder blocks. They're ugly. But, anyway, I'm excited. I think this side of the house is going to turn out very pretty as we go on. That's going to be my project for this summer, is getting this part done and then replanting some areas where the ivy has come out. Now, the last little surprise that I want to share is that next week our family is going to Florida, and we're going to do the Epcot, and they have a garden show. So I will be taking some pictures at the garden show and looking for some inspiration and ideas for things that I might add to my garden. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.